my lovely audience out there, as my voice cracks, yeah, that's perfect timing. Hello, and welcome to the penultimate episode of the Doomsayers. With that in mind, before I get into all my spiels and all that good stuff here, we got some lovely members here, some lovely cast members, some lovely wayward gods. So let's them introduce themselves and who they're playing. Starting off first with Kai. Kai, please introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi everyone, I'm Kai. I use he, they, and she pronouns, and I am so excited to be back playing Merrick, who uses he, him pronouns, also known as Patroclus, who doesn't have an attitude problem, isn't also partly a wolf/vampire, and is doing great. He's having a nice nap. And I'm gonna pass it on over to Calamity with that long series of lies.
Hello, I'm Calamity. My pronouns are she, they. Today I will be playing Mallory, who is tired and still has a child, which will be very interesting considering what happened at the end of the last episode. How about you? How are you doing, Val?
Hello everyone, my name is Valiant Doran. I use he, him, his pronouns. You can find me all on the internet, Valiant Doran, or also Spirit Bear. Please enjoy the lovely treasure I just set you on. And tonight I have the distinct pleasure of playing Hector of Troy, Prince of Troy, Breaker of Horses, and I'm in my son's body. This is normal and fine. MC, Chris?
Yes, my lord. With that in mind, I'm your MC Chris for these preceding evenings. Now, a couple things. In case you missed those bad boys at the beginning, content warnings. If you want to find them, you can type in !DoomCW for the content warnings for this series and episode in particular. To say them out for you, this episode in particular contains fantasy and gun violence, apocalypse, romance, references to sexual entanglements, monstrosities and monsters and monstrosities, severe weather, blood, real-world religions, familiar struggles, trauma, McCarthyism, mind and memory manipulation, depictions of kidnapping, crime, supernatural mythological elements, murder, and suicidal ideation. If any of this does not float your boat, there's a plethora of wonderful content out there for you to enjoy. Also, if you want to follow me or any of the lovely cast members I have on my side here, you can type !Doomcast to see if we can find them on the internet and the wide web. With that in mind, I think that's all from our sake, so let's get into the penultimate with our intro. So we'll be right back, folks. We'll see you soon. we open up on our poor little Doomsayers. As you all begin to wake up from your electrifying state and find yourselves on the other end of the cell once more. Though, for one person in particular, this feeling may be familiar. As we all begin to wake up here, let's get in the minds of our Doomsayers as you find yourselves not only in cells, but also have bracelets on your arm that kind of dampen your more divine sense, making you quintessentially prisoners here. Starting off with the person who's most familiar with this Merrick.
Merrick rolls from being flat and sits up. And he is not thinking about his surroundings. He is still hearing echoes from that cave. The voice of Clysonimus, the voice of his father, but also a phrase that he has heard many times at this point from Hector of Troy. He is Hector of Troy, the breaker of horses. But he is not the first man that he knows that has claimed that title. As the other voice rolling around in his head, Menoidius, king of Opus, Patroclus's father, also claimed to be a master of horses. And he lays there before rolling forward, and that fire behind his eyes, not divine, just the rage inside of a young man who never has known peace, burning. As he grabs in his pocket a cigarette, taps the box a few times, pulls one out, and lights it.
And just for your knowledge, that's the last one in the box, baby.
Fuck. He throws the box across the cell, actually.
Throw it across. At this point, Hector begin to wake up, ever so slightly.
The last thing I think Hector saw was his son's face. And as he awakens in this dampened cell, he has difficulty kind of like settling into this body. And as he slowly blinks his eyes open, he hears the chuck of the little piece of cardboard of a cigarette box right by his left ear. He just kind of like turns to it and to Merrick and fully takes in the space. This complicates things.
Sure fucking does.
Are you alright?
I'm fine.
Looks at the cigarette box right by his like left side. We'll get you out of here.
It's all the same. Here, outside.
I understand that at least. And Hector turns over to Mallory to see where she is in all this, see if she has Enid by her side.
I think in that instance, Mallory, you do begin to wake up, and once again, Mother of the Year, your son is not with you.
Would the who would have would just the officers around have taken him, or
You do know he's probably in the building, but right now it seems like from the last thing you can remember really was them shocking you and probably took Enid in the process.
Okay. In that case, Mallory is, I think, curled up in a corner, and while she is hearing them speak to each other, she doesn't make a move like she is awake. She's very still. her knees pulled up to her chest, staring at the wall inches from her face. And when Victor speaks, she... Peachy. Just peachy.
And as you all are together, you begin to hear from one of the nearby cells, from across you directly, just a slow... Well done, dumbasses. As you see Odysseus on the other side, clapping away at you all.
Oh, great fucking king of Ithaca. How I fucking missed you.
As much as you missed your boyfriend,
Hey, you're
Watch
the one
your
that sought him out and
words.
destroyed our fucking lives, so why don't you shut the fuck up?
don't blame me, you blame that one's brother.
All of you
You're
can
one
share
of the
the
people
blame.
behind this fucking war.
Well, thanks to you, I've been rotting in here for I don't know how many days since you took
Good.
a little escapade down.
You were the one that sided with Apollo.
Sided isn't exactly what I would call it. More like beneficially working for each other. I don't like Apollo. I don't like any of them.
The fuck do you want, Odysseus?
Well, rumor is, as he begins to sort of almost back away and begins to grab a nearby cup and just begin to sort of put it against the pipes. You completed the frame, the infinity box.
And
Well, it's a yes or no, boy toy.
Yes. Make your point, Odysseus.
Well, that's great. Well, did you turn it on?
you think we would be in here if we'd managed to do that?
Maybe. It's a question I'm asking. Did you or
No.
did you not? Okay. So that's a bit of a problem. And you see, he tends to go pacing back and forth. See, usually it's kind of like an imprinting kind of thing. Whoever uses the box first, it got imprints on and yada, yada, yada. But that's not too bad. It's here somewhere. So I think together we can get the box and then we can get what each of us want.
Merrick looks to Hector, seeing that burning horse still in his mind's eye. The greatest invention of Odysseus. What do you think, Prince of Troy?
Hector pinches the bridge of his nose. We have very limited options, don't we? Speak plainly, Odysseus. What do you want from us?
Well, I'll speak real fucking plain. That thing, as he points over to the nearby corner, in and itself of its own, very much chained to as much as they could possibly can. You do see like the statued, almost standby of Troy, the entity that has everyone that you care about inside of it, who's been committing these murders, chained up in itself. Looks like it hasn't turned itself back on for whatever reason, but is there. Odysseus points. That thing is trying to kill everybody involved with Troy. So clearly, I'm one of those individuals. I don't want
Your
to.
men are in there.
Well, they're not the only ones in there. Also, of his side as well. So it kind of is on a day-to-day basis.
So you
of who
kill
they
them
wanna kill.
again just to get rid of the Trojans in there.
I'm not gonna kill them. I'm gonna release their souls. That's what the box is for.
Yeah.
It has instructions to, yes, consume, but it also has instructions to release soul. I'm the
So
only
you
one who knows the combination and the runes that you need to do your little exorcism.
Hmm.
All right. What do you want from us?
I want to make sure that they are released in no way, shape, or form, or anything like that, or put into new bodies like that freak of nature right there.
Watch your mouth.
As you can see, it's not beneficial for me. And that's really it. I don't want this box. You can do whatever you want with it. If you can take out Zeus, that would be wonderful.
Why don't you ask for the moon while you're at it?
I don't know. It sounds kind of nice.
I just want to make sure my life is secured so I don't have to look walking down the street if a murderous being full of my past colleagues, friends, and enemies is going to slice my throat and burn me to a crisp. It's not a
That's fair.
fun time.
Okay.
Fine.
I'm not going to say no to the one person who can apparently unlock all of them.
Well, that's great. Which leads to your side of this deal. How do we get out of here?
Hmm.
And Hector kind of like contemplates on this a little bit more and looks to Mallory a little bit.
Merrick also, as he's thinking, looks back to Mallory. I think both of them looking at her at the same moment.
The goddess. The goddess can't be. Just joining the tribunal does not seem like the goddess's endgame.
Mallory doesn't move. She's still staring at the wall. I think at that she mutters, "What are they going to do with us?"
I have a feeling we might have a repeat of the first time we were brought before the tribunal.
I think they're madder than just throwing us in Ironport. Also, I don't know that Ironport's still there, so there's that.
You're gonna go, Ironport's still around. It was a hell of a thing to clean up. You guys really left your fucking mark on things. But leave it to a dog to piss in that territory.
Hector just snaps a look over to Odysseus.
I couldn't help myself. The joke was right there.
Don't forget this wolf has teeth, Odysseus, and I no longer owe loyalty to any king or prince that cares about your skin. So why don't you play a little nicer, or you will regret it later.
You always amuse me. You think I'm scared of a wolf? I fought a fucking cyclops.
You blinded the Cyclops and then left it.
More
Hardly
than
a
what
feat of
any of
glory.
you can say.
Outside of great feats of kings and heroes, I know who you are, and I'm not afraid of you. And you don't have kings to hide behind and heroes to put in front of you.
Okay. And you don't have boy toys and father trauma to hide behind either.
And if you don't have
You think I
another
was
important
hiding?
thing to say, shut your mouth.
You know, I'm genuinely surprised that you all lived. Many other people would have died, given where you have been and what you've done. It's a testament to the gods themselves that somehow you not only work together, but you're all still intact. With a child, no less, which is fucking astronomical how that happened.
Odysseus, your entire survival rests upon us. The more you agitate us, the less likely we want to help you, even if it means our own destruction.
And the destruction of your loved ones.
Do you think we're that afraid? We're already facing that. With or without you, we
goddess.
face that.
Oh, goddess of the underworld. Regent. What do you think you need to slip out of here?
She just holds up her arm with the bracelet. I tried. This is suppressing something. I can't get through.
I can't touch the threads.
And Hector thinks about the process of everything. Do you remember if we were bound or not? My memory of the first time was hazy, when we were before the tribunal. Is it too much to hope that the arrogance of the gods would mean we would be unbound before them?
I wouldn't trust anything at this point. I think we've made our rage against the gods quite clear. What I'm more interested in is them. And he points to Troy.
Yeah. So am I. But the thing is, and my gut is telling me this more than anything else, I think we have one window. And that window of opportunity is whatever the hell the goddess is planning. I do not believe she is merely here to placate Zeus. I've worked with her for centuries. She hungers for more. I don't know what more looks like. I don't know what the plan is. But I know that she'd want to take a step further than just succeeding in the tribunal. And I think we have one window for when that happens. But that is just us. Odysseus won't be brought up before us. Right?
And I think at this instance, you hear a voice begin to come down as sort of the tails from the top, hearing footsteps. I would not be so sure about that. As you see Athena begins to walk down, no longer in their sort of homeless garb that they had going on, but more of their original state, clean, pristine, toga on side, of a likeish, pinkish hue to them, their helmet sitting just above on their side, and the owl, as always, perching and looking in wisdom. Odysseus will have his time. He is needed to operate the device. You see, he just gives a middle finger back. Oh, humanity, so precocious. How are we doing, my lovely Doomsayers? Lovely morning, isn't it?
Mallory will stand as soon as she hears Athena's voice. And when they address them, she will walk up to the bars, holding them. If there is so much as a smudge on my son, I will have your head.
No need to make insults, my dear, from one god to another.
Oh, I think we are way past that. considering we're here and you're there.
All part of the plan, dearie.
What
Do not
plan?
worry. Oh, you want me to spoil the surprise. You want to have your dessert before dinner. I simply cannot allow that, dear.
Put your head on a platter. Where's my son?
Mhm. Can I speak to someone with a little bit more respect in their voice?
And she'll
my dear
actually
boy.
grasp at the bars and like shake them.
When Hector stands up, I think there's a tiny, small movement of the eye as his eye rests on Marek for like a second, and then goes out to Mallory, and he just like places a hand on the back of your arm where your tricep is, very gently. Say your piece, goddess. But to his companions who have heard him say the word goddess, 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 there's such held back bite in that. Say your piece.
Well, as you see, they're kind of a little off-put by the demeanor change. I am here to escort you to your trial. You have been naughty, naughty doomsayers. You have. Went to the underworld, broke into a prison, made a riot in that prison, didn't even bother to clean up your mess. Prisoners
Excuse me, we were
escaped.
invited into the prison.
Well, prisoners escaped. Some that we know of live to see another day.
Do they know about your involvement in that?
I
The
am
tribunal?
pardoned for my crime. I have brought
Isn't that
the
nice for
golden
you?
geese and eggs, as they say in the stories.
Yeah, you don't want to
Good God.
fucking talk to me. So why don't you go back to talking to your favorite pet?
Tisk, you need therapy, the both of you. As she points over to you, Mallory, and you, Merrick. Hector, darling, my love, my life. You have been a loyal servant, and your reward is soon to come. But you must trust me a little bit more further. Go with my plan a little bit more, and believe me, you will be in the arms of your wife and child once.
Like a good dog.
Hector nods. And the Prince of Troy carefully navigates this conversation as he chooses his words carefully. Goddess,
Mm-hmm.
you know that the Doomsayers and I only did what we had to do with the present circumstances, yes? Will that be made plain in the trial, at least?
I'm pardoned for my crimes. It does not matter what happens. I have brought the Seers Tribunal their precious device, along with the individual who will operate it. You see at this, yes, this time, 2 middle fingers. I'm pardoned. And generally, I'm very surprised of how much work has gone into preserving that thing. As you see, they walk over towards Troy. An amalgamation of malice, terror, and just general anxiety. I see no point in keeping it around.
You touch that, and I will never help you with anything. Ever. And I will rend myself apart before I rest trying to destroy you.
It's funny that you mention that. We made a deal, my lovely Doomsayers. When this is over, I get the frame, which means you can't touch a little hair on my head, lest you rend yourself.
I'm not afraid of you.
Oh, you should be. Achilles was wise enough not to fuck with me. Clearly you don't.
All I've ever had is the meddling of the gods, so why don't you give me something that's new, that I'm actually afraid of?
Your lover's fate is in my hands. Suggest a little respect.
touch a hair on that creature's head, and I will
Patroclus.
stop listening.
Patroclus, I know. What does the goddess of wisdom advise us then?
Well, you see the doors open. It is time for you to go meet your makers. If you follow me, we shall be going to your trial.
And Hector looks at Mallory and Patroclus, and he, especially to Patroclus, says, "You watch my back and I'll watch yours."
And theirs. And his eyes don't move off of the statue.
I made an oath to you, didn't I?
I swear it with you.
And Hector smiles at you and looks to Mallory and just mouths the word opportunity. And he takes a deep breath and marches directly behind Athena so that the other two have space from her.
As he follows dutifully, his eyes still kind of lingering on Troy, he takes the very end of that cigarette and flicks it at Odysseus' cell as he walks away.
Fucking pond scum.
After some hesitation, Mallory will follow. Her arms are crossed, but even so, you can tell she is visibly shaking with anger.
With that, you proceed up the stairs. Going through, you're within the familiar area of the Seers Hall, where you were once brought here against your will, then worked here, and now, once again, brought here against your will. You see there are still agents going about, though there's a look of betrayal among all their faces, as they thought, you were in this together. Clearly not. Kind of walking to their office, I think at this point, Mallory, you do see Enid is with Joe, the head of security, as he's kind of playing with the kid right now. And one of the nearby rooms closed off, only being able to see through a pure window. I think Athena, seeing this, kind of goes back a little bit, leading you forward. I can only imagine what goes through a mother's heart. You know what happened to him, right?
What do you mean?
Well, clearly, they're not going to put the child into adoption once they deal with you. No. They have grander purposes for the eventual king of the underworld. They will train him, probably, take him as their own. He will work as one of them, eventually, being a protector. Who's to say he will even remember you? Parenting is such a thankless job.
Are you asking for me to strangle you?
I'm just curious. Why even bother with the little thing? I mean, you're divine. Parents have left these mortal inconveniences behind for less.
That little thing is my son. And I'm sorry that you are so beyond saving and so heartless that you could say something like
Oh, I just think you're just holding on like a hoarder of anything. Ricky dead, it probably is the only thing that reminds you of the love you once had. I can understand wanting an object to preserve the memory of those we've lost, but I just think or parenting in a sense, is a bit of a hassle for me. Take it from the goddess of wisdom. Not everyone can raise a child, unless alone do it properly.
But there's no way in hell I'm gonna let it be them.
Intriguing by the minute. And proceeds to walk forward.
Merrick
did you-
watches that
Yeah.
exchange. And I think as Athena walks away, Mallory, he walks right beside you. And you can see that he is staring hateful eyes into the back of Athena's head. Because even though he very obviously has complicated feelings about parenting, he almost breaks the peace here just to defend the relentless parenting care and love that both Mallory and Hector clearly show. And he breathes heavily and clenches his fist very tightly.
And on the vision of Marek's clenched fist, we see Hector's. Actually, a Stianax's fist. As he clenches it so tightly in his hands, it starts to make crescent-shaped marks into his palm. And as soon as he feels that pain, that pinch, he grabs the inside of his palm and rubs it comfortingly, remembering whose body it is. Throughout that whole exchange, and the only thing that is occupying Hector's composure when the goddess is gloating is a father's love. He must be patient. And he sees the hateful look from Marek, the pained helplessness that Mallory feels, and Hector feels responsible. And he will fix this. And he just stuffs his hands into the denim pockets of his son's denim jacket and grips the inside, maintaining as much composure as possible.
And with that, proceeding forward, you get to the doorstep of the tribunal's hall, the main area where they judge people. At this point, Athena looks towards you all. Well, this is my stop. It has been a pleasure working with you all. And remember our deal, my little chickadees.
Go fuck yourself.
Ah, Mallory. You see, they take their fist and gut punch you so hard in the chest that you feel it and go down. I will say in this instance, though, for Mallory, you do feel like as they do it, something drops into your pocket from their hand. Don't know what it is, but you can hear something jingle before it releases.
Merrick is so tightly wound that the moment that this strike happens, he jumps on Athena. It doesn't matter if it's a player or not. He doesn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And all he can think about is what that argument was and how much love he now understands these two people have for their children and how much hate he feels for Athena's words because he was rejected by his father. He wears the mark to prove it. The scar on his face given to him by his father, who did not want him. And he jumps on Athena in revenge for her spite.
This happened so fast for Hector. He was before the doors of the tribunal, and all he hears is what happens to Mallory, and that's when he turns and then he sees Marek already jumping onto the goddess, and Hector moves to protect Patroclus.
I will say, move forward, though you feel at the back of your head, a sort of assault rifle at the back as the guards in the front go, You, Merrick, get a chance. No outrolling anything necessarily. You kind of jump on Athena. Oh, please, Wolf, you can't hurt me. Rabbit
And he's
are
fully
we?
biting a little.
You see they smirk a bit, uncomfortably, as if the biting doesn't do much, if anything entices. And at this moment, you see a gun on the back of your head. All right, I'm going to need you to stand back, sir. Do it now. I don't want to put you down, boy.
Patroclus, please.
He moves off of her both a mix of the mortal man and that edge of monstrosity inside of him. You touch her again.
I will say, as you see, they kind of cover their neck where they're a bit. If that is what happens when I piss you off, I may do it again. Good luck. You'll need it in your defense as they proceed to walk away into one of the nearby corners.
While Mallory is doubled over, can she try to discern what it was that was dropped into her pocket?
I'm trying to see. You could be a little risky here,
Through
I
like
would
shape
say.
or like.
You can shake. You feel like it's clearly a set of something.
Okay. Okay. She's so shocked anyway that she just kind of is on like her knees doubled over for a second and is just breathing, like trying to get her breath back. More than anything, it knocked the wind out of her, I think. She's too angry to feel pain. And she'll stand.
Mallory, are you alright?
I'll be fine.
We all walk out of here.
Yeah, whatever you say. Come on. Back in line.
There's a little tear that brims the edge of Hector's eyelids, hearing Mallory's voice break. He keeps as composed as he can. We have only but one opportunity, and he needs to find it. And against the prince, against all the things the Prince of Troy wants to do to these men and to Athena and to all the gods here, he will obey for now.
With that, you're all led inside the chamber. As you do, you notice once again the three of the Seers are there. At the head of it, Zeus, looking over everything. Morgan, who is on the side, looking over with their crows. And Amashara, on their side, looking over the accounts that's going on. At this point, the sort of wispy nature of the defendant, or whatever these things are, begins to form out of mid-air and kind of goes, Well, look who has come back to us. You have a lot to explain to the gods.
We have only done and followed the trail that was put before us. What questions do the gods have for us?
You do not speak, as they kind of backhand you. We will be asking the questions. Now, my lieges, what questions do you have for the Doomsayers? You see Morgan on the side. So, where exactly have you been? You have disappeared without reporting back to us for days. Incited the riot, and then out of nowhere have completed a project that I simply don't understand.
We did not incite a riot.
To contrary, there's numerous reports of you specifically fighting with one of the prisoners that seemed to be a giant fucking wolf.
Sure. And I have plenty of beef with him. But we didn't start the riot. We just survived it. And if someone's telling you otherwise, they're a liar.
So, then enlighten us, please. Who exactly started the riot?
Wouldn't know. We were questioning a person of interest in the case.
Can you give me a convince here as you're lying at your ass?
Are we? Are we lying?
Slightly, you know who did it, but you just
Yeah,
not
that's
saying.
fair. Okay. Rage Against Destiny. Famously ill-fated.
Mhm.
Diplomatic negotiator. And sated by heroic deeds. We're
I'm gonna say
lying to save people.
-2 because of the risk, the sort of restraints they
Sure.
have limit you, so you're a little depowered at the moment.
Ooh, that's rough. That is a 7, though.
Okay. Okay. Could be worse.
Okay, you just got there. So with that, it's they give in a little bit and protect their own agenda. So very interesting. While you may have not started the riot, it seems that we did find a culprit. This being of sorts, which I'll think I'll hand off to my other seer. Thank you very much. As it goes to Amashara. So, care to tell us what you were doing in the underworld and what that thing we have downstairs has to do with it?
Hector, brushes the bruise off of his face and looks towards the Seers Tribunal, all of them, eyeing each of them and where they're positioned, and says, I believe there's some sort of misunderstanding here. We didn't enter the underworld out of our own volition. It was done under duress of said inciting riot.
And yet, when you return from the underworld, we hear you come back a monarch, using our resources for your betterment. We give you leeway. That doesn't mean you can just do whatever you want. Let alone become a new monarch of the entirety of the underworld.
That is her birthright.
Yes, but you did it on the clock. With our resources.
Merrick just laughs. There is a resignation to the way he feels in this place in general. But also there's a thread of a man always trapped in telling the truth and never being listened to. And he looks over to Mallory. You think that she's the problem here? You really think that the heir of the underworld getting her rightful place because we escaped a trap is a problem for you?
Just seems convenient.
Oh, sure.
You don't seem to be taking this seriously, boy.
Oh, this is serious. I'm taking it seriously. Just over a decade of war, centuries of being dead, and listening to your shit over and over and over again gets old. It gets old.
Watch it.
What is this circus for?
We're here to determine if you've been playing us for fools. Clearly you know something that we don't, so we would like you to elaborate.
I've done nothing but what you've asked.
Which I guess leads us to our final question, Zeus. Yes. Care to explain what this object is? As you see, they hold up the frame completed, the infinity box in their hands, emitting this energy that none of you can find familiar. It's almost alien, but you can feel its warmth hit your face. What is this thing?
Did the goddess not tell you? Of wisdom, I mean. Goddess Athena? Did she not speak to its nature? Wisest amongst us.
We are just curious to know, what do you know of it?
A powerful relic. It says it could do many things, from what we've been told, but it seems to be dependent on the user. It could be a weapon, a host, a trap. There's different functions.
Or you can use it to stop an assassin running around town killing gods like you asked us to.
So you did find out who accomplished these murders.
That's a really complicated question.
Then simplify it quickly, because you're not looking too hot right now. The punishment we have in mind isn't imprisonment or even death. It is erasure.
Wait, what? You can't just... You can't
What?
just do that.
We can do as we like. That is why you are testifying, to see if that punishment is reasonable for the situation.
Punishment for what?
This is a trial. It's determined if you're guilty for
Of what?
Of what?
playing us like fiddles, coming back from the underworld with a device of power that can wipe us out, and for some reason have the resources of the underworld at your beck and call. Does that seem suspicious to
My
you?
son was taken. Sorry if your little game here wasn't quite as...
A fact that you know that there was a threat hanging over Mallory's son's head since the very beginning. It was one of the bargaining chips. Surely it's not that huge leap of logic
Well, it is
for
not
his
in a
life to be
sense.
threatened.
We provided him a better life. We did not know his security threat. The underworld is the underworld. You do not mess.
And whose failing is that?
Goddess.
What did happen to Hades?
He died. Anything else is history.
That's all you have to say about your brother.
My brother was a fool for thinking he could build something better.
All I'm hearing so far, oh tribunal, is a lot of heightened emotions of fear and insecurity over maybes and daggers in the dark. We have told you the facts. We followed the trail, we've come to its conclusion, and our reward as Doomsayers is to stand before you again like criminals, when we have only done what you have told us to do.
Very well. We
Find the
told you
truth.
And the murderer. So, is that thing downstairs the murderer? And why are you not telling us who exactly it is before we wipe it from existence?
It's because it's not just one who, tribunal.
What exactly does that mean?
And Hector, once again, he's bound, but he kind of like leans back and forth between both of his legs. What I want to do, oh dear MC, is to use Hector's political capability to start sowing seeds of distrust towards Goddess Athena. And he does so, and he just says, again, I would have thought that the Goddess Athena would have explained it to you. She would understand this nature better than I. I am a prince, a warrior. Artifice of magic is not something that I know a lot about. You are asking the wrong people. We just brought them to you, and we have brought the pieces to you, as you asked. At our earliest convenience, we had only just escaped the underworld when you found us.
And what you threaten is foolish. Destroy me, sure. But the great prince of Troy, a hero venerated through all of time, and the very child of your brother, the rightful regent of the underworld. You'd be unmaking your own stories.
The underworld will not be pleased about that, certainly, yeah. They're pleased with their new regent. I've lived long enough. I may be a prince, but that is an old life, an old story. I've done my duty, tribunal, as all of us have.
You see, they look to each other. Morgan, I told you we should have got rid of Indor's body. Clearly, this has to do something with that. The calculated risk, and clearly it seems the spirits are out of control. The underworld is also a problem. We have many angles, and Athena has been playing us from the start. Zeus leans in. What exactly is your plan forward if we were to release you?
Get what I asked for.
We had a bargain,
All I
did we
want.
not?
Well, sires, I think it is as much as we are going to get out of these individuals. I leave it to you and your vote.
One more thing. An oath, if you will. I will do my duty and get what I was promised to the end, because I will be at his side.
The human has finished their remarks. In this moment, you see they look among each other, debating. In this instance, Mallory, are you going to inspect your whatever bobber a little bit closely, or are you just going to be in the mood and just sort of wait to see what happens?
If there is ever a space where she feels eyes are off of her, she does want to kind of check as subtly as possible to see if she can discern what the heck she has.
Hector and Merrick have just been big, loud, sad boys out in the front here.
It's just like
We
In this instance, again, without having to roll anything, because you're not really doing anything too much, you see that specifically it seems to be keys to your what's keeping you depowered in a sense. For some reason, Athena's given it to you. And in this instance, especially with these two boys taking up most of the space in the room, you could try to take the risk and unshackle yourself. Are you muted?
Yeah.
think
Okay,
I was sorry. I was going to my. I have so many tabs open.
They're thinking.
Thinking.
Think harder, think faster.
But yeah, I want to definitely attempt it.
Okay.
I was trying to think of if I can use anything.
If we catch that she is doing this, can some of the grandstanding like very purposely be to obfuscate what she is doing?
Yeah, just and another thing.
I am
yeah.
I am going to pull a thing I've done all the time from Mallory since I got it. Expert advice, poised amidst doom. You will have that tag with you.
Yeah. I would also like to use. Sorry, didn't see you there. And
I forgot that's the name of your tag and I'm not talking to us.
Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, because I can't really use anything else. So
Okay.
that's plus 2.
No minuses on this because you're not necessarily using power. There's a little bit more of like finagling.
Okay.
So you're taking a risk here.
Ooh.
I love that. That's a good sound, I
13.
think. Let's
13.
go.
With that, you begin to going through it, and as it is going, you hear the vote begins to happen. Morgan kind of goes, "That innocent, let him go." The other side, Amashara, they agree. They have not done anything wrong. I think Zeus takes a minute, looks at you all. Fuck them. And at this point, you see they summon 2 bolts from their side and lash them critically, using the frame of its power to amplify their own, and hits Morgan and Amashara, killing them. As they go down. Well, glad that's over. Got this. Why would you shut up? As you see, they whisk their hand, the spirit disobeys. Athena did say you would somehow find a way to wiggle your way out of this. I am genuinely surprised as you see they begin to go down the steps with the frame in their hand.
Merrick starts to run.
You running?
Oh yeah.
Fantastic. I think as you try to run, you see they use the frame once more, locking you all within sort of a rectangular like cube. Oh, where you going, Wolf? I thought you fought fights, not run away from them.
I made a promise.
Oh, that your little boy toy would be with you once again.
His name is Achilles.
He doesn't matter, Marek, because he's gonna be gone once we use the frame. See, it's like a battery. That thing you have downstairs is the double A's that I need. We can use it to amplify ourselves. We can't use its full ability without the rage of all those souls in between. And me and Athena have a little feel between each other.
Probably like as soon as Hector starts laughing, I let me know if I have to roll for this, but I'm hoping that Merrick can suddenly hear a voice saying, "Stay still," and feel something at his wrist as she uses her spectral movement, and what remains a shadow. So it looks like she's still standing there listening. But
I mean, I want to say something deeply fucked to Zeus that
Please.
might take
Oh,
up all of
please
Zeus's
do.
attention.
Please,
do.
please take a risk so you
Meanwhile-
can roll on your side there. As Hector, please hit me
this
with
is
it. What
for
you got?
Merrick, and I'll roll for Hector later.
Yeah. As Hector laughs in Zeus's face, he just looks at them and just is like, "Oh, you don't get it. Oh, you don't see it. Your daughter has machinations upon machinations on you. You still think this is a deal? Zeus, you discarded her like trash. You betrayed her. As a father, as a parent, you betrayed her. How would a child react after? You still think you have the upper hand? To the goddess of wisdom.
You know, Hector, I destroyed your city not out of some proverbial lesson that we were trying to teach humanity. No, it was rather because I was bored on a Sunday afternoon. I let Parrish choose who he wanted. He chose what he did. And watching everything unfold was like going to the movie theaters. Wonderful cast, everything there. And eventually, when it came to an end, I applauded. Your life, your civilization, meant nothing to me. I want you to personally know that.
I do know
My
that.
favorite part was when they took your wife and killed your son. Well, I thought they killed their son, but clearly, even mortals can fail at the most basic of.
My son's survival, my being before you, is an act of resistance to every ounce of tyranny the gods have rained upon us for millennia. So I spit on your attempt at an insult.
I think you dropped your copy there of the Communist Manifesto with your all against the gods thing. You know, I can't throw up, but if I could, probably in this moment. Anyway, and at this moment, you all begin to hear the lights go off. It is that quiet for an instant before the generators red light everywhere. And you can hear echoing, bellowing. Zeus! Zeus! As it echoes all the way from the cell. Troy's awake in this instance, and they're coming. And at this point, Zeus goes, well, I'd love to stay in chat, but clearly there's more important things I have to tend to, so enjoy your 2x2 cell that will shrink and kill you eventually. It's been wonderful working with you all. Now please shut up and fucking die. As you see, the cell around you begins to shrink, and they make their way out towards the exit. What are you doing in this instance?
How did
With
Mallory
that-
do?
Yeah, what did you? How did
Yeah.
you do, Mallory?
So I rolled a. Well, do I have any negatives? Any things
We're
like-
using. Oh, I don't think you have any negatives now because you don't have your cuffs on. So even if you were using your
Oh.
powers, it doesn't matter. So
I spat
Okay,
in
so-
Zeus's face. You better not have any negatives.
You
That's true. That's true.
It was baller.
It was pretty baller. Yeah. So that's a 9 then. If I don't have any negatives, I rolled a math. I used
So a
spectrum
9?
movement, and yeah, I used
Okay.
spectrum movement, and I got a 4 and something. I can't remember what I got.
I will say, going through this as they're walking away, you get Merrick's cuffs off. But with that, as the cell shrinks, you feel the electricity hit you on the side, making you retract back, and the keys go straight into the lightning and
Oh,
turn
shit.
into dust. You
The
got a
moment
9,
the
so
cuff-
things get messy. So
Mm. The moment the cuff falls off, you see almost a pulse of red wash over Merrick as that gift of lichen sort of surges to the forefront in all of his fury. But instead of attacking the walls, which are very obviously dangerous, he begins to yell, "Achilles! Here!" And just yells for Achilles. But then he changes. "Paris! All of you!"
I love that. Hector is going to do something silly, but we have a 2x2 box that's closing on us, and it's going to take Troy a while to get here. So Hector, I'm not using my powers. Hector is fully using his body to try and like hold one side with his shoulder. Just so that the other two have space to because it's collapsing on us, right?
Yes, it's very much just like closing slowly on you.
Yes,
and
so
you
he's
do notice
just
that
trying.
while touching it,
it's-
it shocks you.
Oh, it's
so very much
impossible.
like,
Dang.
yeah.
All right, Achilles, save me! My wife!
Help! Help! My wife!
My wife!
With that, you see Zeus very much going, "Oh, please, you're pathetic." With that, doors open. What has happened? Going to the guard. Clearly, the Seers, they must have done something. We have to get out of here quickly, please. Escort me to the cells. We'll try to take care of this thing. Don't let them get past. Of course. They close the doors, locking it, and with that, you all begin to no way out, shrinking ever so slightly. This may be the end, and I think that's a great point for a quick break here.
Ah! Chris!
Yeah. And we're back. With that in mind, the cube is shrinking all of you down, and really, there's no which way for you guys to really do anything. But in this instance, you, Mallory, see something that's strange. You see, I'm the only one who are able to really see this, some sort of shade begins to make their way from underneath the floorboard, and at this moment is trying to enact their will on the cage to sort of break a part of it. As you start to see that an opening is beginning to form, but they need help.
Would they be able to see the opening though, American Hector?
I think they don't see. You can see because you're watching. If you just tell them over there, they'll see.
Oh, okay.
it.
So I was just making sure it was like actually visible, like if they look at it. Like, I can't look way out, and I don't know if I want to try to touch it. Can anyone else touch it?
Yeah, I have a thought. I have
Okay.
two thoughts.
Mhm.
The first one being that Merrick has a weird thing because he wasn't brought back truly as a normal mortal person. His body is weird and fucked up. Thanks, Eris. So I think when he comes back to his divinity, of course, his domain is cut short destinies, those cut threads of fate. And we are enmeshed in a world of them. I'm sure 1,000 destinies have been cut short in this place. And I think that when he comes back into his abilities, it's almost like being overwhelmed by it. But when Mallory points out that hole, I think he jumps for the what looks like just a hole, but to him is like a miasma of threads all flooding around this cage. And he jumps at it to pull on the threads and thus at the cage itself with his body remade of ash and mud.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Mhm.
I'm gonna say face danger because you're not fighting this thing, so I think face danger is pretty good enough.
Yeah.
Expert advice. Poise amidst doom. Bark, bark, bark.
Thanks, friend.
Once per scene, baby. I just double checked the rules.
What are we using?
Oh,
Just going straight? Or
Fuck
what
yeah. Oh yeah, I need to use things. I'm gonna say Rage Against Destiny. Body remade of ash and mud. Hunger for the scraps of destiny, and rend the threads.
Gotcha. So that's a 4. So what'd you roll?
Well, with a +5, thank you, Hector.
You're welcome.
That ends up being a 16.
Delicious.
Fantastic. I think in this point, you're able to sort of going through, ripping and tearing it so much large enough that the ash begins to almost like act as almost like wax dripping on this thing as it begins to, and at this point provides an opening for all of you to just go through quickly before this cube squishes you all.
I think you actually see part of it go into his body, but by the time he's in contact with it, like it just looks like bubbling mud around it. It's very like not human seeming as his flesh kind of becomes the mud that it was made from around this hole.
Hector waits for the other two to jump down first because I'm still bound, so I'm gonna need hopefully people underneath me for when I eventually fall.
Fantastic. So off. I think just for expediency's sake, you're able to jump and somebody catches you. And at this point, you all, you see the cube closes, crushing what was ever inside of it still. And at this moment, while you two have no idea what's going on, Mallory, you see this shade kind of just come down and very much almost like an animal on its fours look towards you.
Thank you. Who? What? Can you? Thank you.
And as it dissipates, I think you have a feeling of who you know this is. As you can smell the aftershave of Ricky off of this thing.
Oh no!
That's what I thought. I thought it was gonna be.
Oh, oh, that makes me
Yeah,
sad.
I know. When she is hit with that smell, because I think she had a hope. And when the shade dissipates and she is hit with that smell, tears immediately come to her eyes, and she says, "Don't. You have to get out of here. You have to find Zeus."
Yep. Yeah.
Where are the
Hector
keys?
gets up.
They're gone.
Fuck. And we're gonna do more weird thread shit.
What are you
'Cause
doing?
That is, I think now, like, kind of a little bit enlivened by that reconnection now, he looks to Hector's wrists at these things stopping his full divine ability. And he is just going to try and rend it like he would rend any other thread of fate.
Change the game.
Cool.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Let's go.
That's fair. Okay. Rage Against Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Carrion Dog.
Mm-hmm.
Guardian of the Devoted.
Mm-hmm.
Hunger for Scraps of Destiny. Sated by heroic deeds and rend the threads.
Okay. If you failed, this is on you.
I know. I'm aware.
Fantastic.
God,
so that's
please.
a +6.
God, I've been such a good boy.
Got odds.
Well, it's a good thing. Apparently, the magic number today is 16.
Lovely, lovely. So with that, you got 6 juice there, so you can use that as you wish. But for the purposes of this, you are able to sort of rend in very much of like, I pull the thread on this inanimate object as it just begins to just and just fall off.
Thanks.
Yeah. Achilles!
Still coming towards you. You don't know how long or how far it's going to take. Right now, you are in the tribunal's hall. You're screaming Achilles. The guards haven't noticed that you've escaped yet. So very much the door is locked, the front door. So it's up to you what you guys want to do. You do hear the shouting and gunshots being in the sort of behind where you were. And I think the other concern as well is Enid is in that way as well.
Yep.
So
Hector summons his spear, summons his shield, and we're breaking out of here, baby. He's gonna use his shield to like pull back the bar a little bit and then pry it open with the spear.
As you open the doors, you see that the hallway, there's like a SWAT team of individuals, like guns are at the other direction, opposite side. As you see, there's just a long hallway in which you came down, and with that, you see the guys go behind you. Oh shit!
Right behind Hector. Right behind Hector, still yelling for Achilles. That golden miasma begins to kind of glow around him again as the other divinity inside of him, the one gifted to him from the person he is shouting for, begins to form that shield and a familiar spear as he and his fellow hoplite travel into the hallway, shoulder
Fantastic.
to shoulder.
Toe to toe, Mallory. What are you doing in this instance?
Can I identify where my son is? How close are we to my son?
You.
Where is my son?
Where is my son?
Where is my son?
From where you last saw him, at the end of this tunnel leads into the offices. So that's where you think he is at the moment. You can't actually see him due to the individuals in this hallway and what you're doing right now. So you're guessing he's somewhere that way.
Okay, in that case, I would like to use Scared Stiff to make as many of them falter as possible so they're easier to get through.
Fantastic. Toe-to-toe as well. So with that toe-to-toe for all individuals. Starting off with you, Merrick. Let's see what you get.
Rage Against Destiny, always beside him, Star Adorned Bronze Shield, Guardian of the Devoted, Wrought in War, Murmured in Armaments, and Sated by Heroic Deeds is 7.
Okay, -2 for these individuals. They are trained and know how to deal with God.
Sure.
So very much in this
So
instance.
+5.
They're trying to coordinate the best they can.
At a +5, that's a 15.
15. Fantastic. All right, you get 2. So what are you choosing from this bad boy list?
Achieve my goal.
Okay.
And I'm gonna block, dodge, or counter.
Gotcha. So you're doing that. I'll explain what happens once I get through everybody's roles. So with that, Hector, what about you?
Sure thing. I'm adding Dominant Duelist, Poison Amidst Doom, Agile Hoplite, Commander Sharpened Strategy, Venerated Protector, Spearmanship, Wrathful Spear, and Bring Glory to Troy. So that's
Fantastic.
8.
So with the -2?
-2?
Mhm.
Alright. Plus
So
6. Woohoo! Okay. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14. Yes, I still
14.
need to count individually on my fingers. Chat.
Are you choosing the same options as well, I'm guessing? Or are you
Yes.
choosing some-
Yeah.
All right,
No,
fantastic.
I
So
can't.
with that.
Maybe I don't take damage before we actually deal with what potentially is going on in the other room.
Lovely. So attack and defend. What about you, Mallory? What did you get?
So I used Scared Stiff, Leave the Light On, They're My World, and I guess it wouldn't be dark in here. So, sorry I didn't see you there.
Okay, so then -2, so +2 for you.
So I rolled, where is it? I rolled a 6, 7, 8, 9, so that's plus 2.
So 10.
10. That's math.
Fantastic. I'm guessing you choose the same thing as these two? Attack and defend?
Yeah. Attack and
Fantastic.
defend.
Gotcha. So in this moment, hallway, at this point, they tried to shoot. At this moment, shield comes up from Hector as he kind of provides the sort of forward momentum you need. Going off, individuals trying to go through, shooting, trying to take cover. At this moment, Merrick, you're coming in, slicing whoever you can as the shield moving up, spearing individuals, adding away, trying to shoot. You see that they get behind you, one of them, but at this point, Mallory, you just give them deathly stares of eyes as you start to see like almost their souls leave their body. Some individuals in the back going, fuck this, and mean to run off in a nearby direction. But for the most part, you guys advance forward strong enough, going through the hallway as you push these individuals back. As you enter in the offices, you see the entrance from where the prison is. You see Odysseus is just running out immediately, just taking cover wherever they can at this instance, as they are just behind trying to see what's going on in this instance. So you do notice that one of the soldiers tries to escape from the back, but with that, a hand almost punctures through their chest. Lava in nature as it sort of goes down as Troy's on the other side. Where is Zeus?
That way. They went that way.
Zeus! As they begin to go and jump off, going to one of the nearby rooms. And this instance, more individuals come in, this time riot shields of their own. You see Joe behind them. I don't know what you did, but that raving lunatic is around here, so I'm gonna need you to stand down right now.
No.
Hit him with it. And you see guys from behind shoot tear canisters in your directions as they begin providing a little bit more negative buffs as they begin to sort of prepare for whatever you do next. So what are you individuals doing as you see these sort of tear gas begins to shoot in your way?
What are you thinking, Kai? What is that face? What is that face, Kai? What are you doing?
They made a mistake. They put fog in a room with a monster. Merrick.
You think I'm
Let's-
trapped here with you?
Yeah, you're trapped in here with me. Merrick sees Joe, and given everything that we know about Joe's trustworthiness with children, Merrick. It looks like he drops the shield and spear, but they just turn into gold, and he gets down on all fours, and again that like pulse of that Vrikolakos presence within him fills him, and he gets a little bit more animalistic as his fingers elongate more into that wolf form that you saw down in the underworld, and he begins to run on all fours at Joe in particular, who he has wanted to rip apart this whole time ever since they first met. And he is going to run at Joe, jump out of the tear gas, and try and rend apart his threads.
Lovely, lovely. Toe to toe for me as you're doing that. I want to focus on this for a moment because this is wild. As you're going full Vander Warwick on this individual.
My boy. Okay. Rage Against Destiny. Body remade by Ash and Mud. Carrion Dog. Rot in War. Hunger for Scraps of Destiny. Sated by Heroic Deeds and Rend the Threads. That is a 7.
Lovely, lovely. A -3 for that. As you see that it was 2, they're still coordinated, but the tear gas also another debuff.
Sure. That's a 14. Dice are hot tonight.
Now, what are you gonna do the same thing, or are you doing something different here?
No, I'm gonna be mean.
Okay.
I'm going to achieve my goal. Jump out of the tear gas at Joe's throat. Pull at his threads like a feral animal ripping apart entrails, and I would like to inflict a status upon specifically Joe.
Fantastic. What you giving him?
Cut threads.
Fantastic.
I want him to know down in his soul that I do not like him.
You jump on him, begin to go at him, but not necessarily him individually. You see that you are going at his threads, gnawing on it like a child would like gnaw on string. But with that, Joe is more than meets the eye as he takes you by your scruff and throws you into the nearby room with superhuman-like strength. Tosses you to the nearby room. You want to go? Let's go, motherfucker. As he goes up, you are going to take, I'm going to say, a lovely status of 2 as you...
Sure.
You're putting dusted off, if you want to put it out there, as you're sort of not too bad there. As he goes in that direction, for my other lovely individuals, what are you doing in this instance?
I want to clear a fucking path. I'm here. Hey, hoplite to hoplite. I'm here to defend you and watch your back. If Joe's gonna fucking shoot a right hook at you, I'm going to fucking take my spear and like whack him twice in his back and just take him out of the fight completely.
Are you taking
as
Joe
much as I
out?
can. I want to take Joe out.
Okay,
Well, not
got it.
kill. Not kill. I want to knock
Okay.
him out because he is nice
Tell
to
that
Enid.
to them.
I was like, Enid, you were nice to Enid, so I'm knocking you out. Whatever Merrick does with you afterwards is his business.
Chew toy. Chew toy.
Chew toy, chew toy. All right, so I am going to use Dominant Duelist, Poised Amidst Doom, Agile, Hot-Like, Commander, Sharpened Strategy, Venerated Protector, Spearmanship, and Wrathful Spear. Let's go.
-3 for that bad boy there.
-3. Sure. Woohoo! So -3, so that means I'm adding +4. 8.
8. All right, so you only get one of these. So either
All right.
you inflict a status, so you can either further the status going on here. You can either just achieve your goal in terms of taking him out, or you can dodge.
I'm gonna achieve my goal. I want to take Joe out. He's
Yeah,
the most
right.
dangerous guy here right now.
Fantastic. So with that going through, you see that the bullets are blazing as you just see from burst fire from these assault rifles. Glass breaking, wood breaking. Mallory, you're taking cover at the moment. You do see Odysseus is on the side as well, trying to take cover as you're just going through. At this point, Hector, you are going to achieve your goal, but some of the bullets begin to graze you a bit here. Status 2 here for you as well, as you get shot up.
Sure.
Even though some of them are bouncing for the most part, you notice they're starting to break even more and more and more as the glass begins to crack in your body. But in this instance, as you see these two are ready to fight, you just come over. Are you just like knocking them out with your shield, or are you just?
I'm doing my fucking best. We're powering through. Hector is a giant truck and he's mowing down all these motherfuckers.
Fantastic. With that, Merrick, as you get ready to like square up against Joe, he gets ready as he just Henry Cavill reloads his arms. You see from behind, dink, as he just goes off to the side, as he goes unconscious from Hector. As Hector, you have to immediately shift your focus back to the other side. Valerie, what are you doing in this instance? As stuff is changing.
Okay. So we've got tear gas. Oh. I've googled a tear gas canister. Would you say it's pretty heavy? Like, if I were to hit someone with it, would it hurt or not?
Probably hurt. It's just spearing gas as well, so even if it didn't like physically hurt them, there's the gas coming out. They're just like
They're like paint cans.
Yeah.
Okay. Because my first thought was throw the gas canisters behind their shields.
You can do that, yeah. That's an option.
Yeah, I'll do that to give the other two an advantage after they go after them.
Fantastic. I think in this instance, you are facing danger.
Danger.
So you can do your whatever you're going to add on to here.
I am going to add spectral movement. They're my world. So after Enid. Would you say it's a little darker in here?
Yeah, because they've at this point you see that they're shooting out the lights. If anything.
Oh wait, but it's like all red and stuff. So like yeah, because of the
so
lights,
it's
right?
darker. Yeah, it is a little bit. It's very Batman-y right now. So it's very.
Are you afraid of the dark? And then how did you get?
Fantastic. So -3 though, because of the stuff that's going on. So you get at the +1 to this.
Come on, that is 8.
8. Fantastic. You're gonna take another. So it's technically since you hit 8, it's a -1. So you just get a tier 1 status of grazed by these bullets. As you see, some of them kind of barely miss you, but with that, you're able to grab the canisters, throw it back, move back. As these individuals begin to push themselves back, giving you guys enough room to follow Troy if you want to.
I have a strange question, just for funsies.
Yeah.
Would you allow me to expend all of that juice at once to remend all of the damage? I have 6 juice banked from the escape from the cage, and I could spend 1 for 1 a reduction of a status.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I can count, we've accumulated 5 between the 3 of us in this one little hallway skirmish with the tear gas.
Yeah.
So, if that's all right with you, to use all the juice for that.
Blanket heal, just full up.
Yeah,
everybody.
well, basically, the thought here being that the juice came from being able to grab all of that energy in the tribunal room, and instead of eating it, he exhales all of that energy from the cut threads of destiny and puts it back to the destinies of the people in this room.
Fantastic.
To get
with
rid
that,
of all of those statuses.
feeling the energy back up. What are you guys doing now? Are you going to follow Troy? What are you going to do? You see Joe's knocked out completely. Walking in, you are in the same room that Enid was in, but he's not here. It looks like they moved him.
Where do we go?
Wait, we knocked out Joe, right?
Yeah, you can wake him up, but he's out for the fight, essentially.
Okay.
Slap him.
You're gonna just.
As you see, oh, what the hell?
Where's my son?
She took him.
Who did? Who
Athena.
did?
Athena. God.
Oh, shut
Question:
up.
Is Odysseus still in the room?
Yeah, she's very much of sweet. And I thought my river ride was rough. Kind of coming up. I see you found a way out.
Hector just like grabs Odysseus, puts him behind him, and is like, "Stay close. We're looking for the boy."
All right, Jesus.
I would like to track Athena.
I would say for the purpose of this, no problem. You know they're in the general
Yay!
direction. That's not a problem. Finding where they are going right now is not too big of a problem. As you see, they went in the same direction Troy went. So you can see
Okay.
that they very much are like they're trailing behind, though it's a little
Follow,
for the most
follow
part.
my wife and my friend's husband. Let's go.
Fantastic. With that, you proceed forward. Going in, you can see that you have to be, you're in a sense of going upwards, or kind of more towards up the building where the landing and helipad is. As you're sort of going up, you get into one of the last kind of large gathering rooms in which the tower itself has, which is kind of almost very much like a Seattle kind of thing in terms of like it's just like this large area of like luxury with windows around that sees everywhere else. And in this instance, you can see Zeus kind of scrambling forward. You see they're dripping blood from their side, trying to grasp at the frame, as you see Troy menacingly from behind, just going, I have waited a long time for this. We have waited for this. If not interrupted, Troy's gonna just take out Zeus here.
I have very few feelings about protecting Zeus. What's Athena doing in this instance?
You don't see Athena around.
I don't see her. Hector, that's Hector's only concern right now, is that he can't see Athena, and Athena has the child, and God knows what else she is planning. Hector's trying to think like the goddess of wisdom.
I will
and
say
it's
that
hard.
the other concern, especially given your nature, a little bit political animal you are, you do notice that right now everything's being blamed on you. So if Zeus does die without you guys being able to explain yourself, this will cause future problems for you.
Andromache, please. Hold a second. Keep your eye on him.
Why?
We don't know where Athena is. We don't know where Enid is. And we are still on the hook.
Zeus has been the cause of so much of our grief.
He absolutely is. I'm not arguing with you here. But the fact remains that we will take whatever damage and fall if he falls here right now without Athena.
You see, Theseus kind of speaks up. I say, fuck that. Let him die. My personal opinion.
I kind of agree.
Hector just kind of like looks to everyone and is just like, just hold a moment. You don't... Patroclus. We have a missing goddess of wisdom. That doesn't set off anything within you, Hoplite. You don't know the battlefield. You are in the dark of night with but one torch, and you're going to storm the enemy camp?
What about vengeance against the gods?
Then you can take it once we know where she is. You can hold your jaw, your your jaw and your maw against Zeus right now for all I care. Just not to end him yet.
And with that permission, the hungry wolf moves closer to Zeus.
Laughing up like
Why don't you just hold still, O great ruler of the gods?
so you can find me threats of fate.
No,
God
I
of
eat-
Thunder, watch your words. It is but my permission that keeps the wolf from rending you asunder. So, play nice.
You look delicious.
And where's your darling daughter? You're a team, aren't you? Where is she?
Can't say. In this instance, Troy, I will have my vengeance. They will die, my love. Why are you stopping me? They need to die. We must have vengeance. Vengeance!
Oh, you have waited centuries for your vengeance. What is 5 minutes? And Hector, what I would really like to make a concerted effort to track down Athena right now because I know I'm running out of time. I have like a
I'm gonna give
tiny
you-
little sandglass.
I'm gonna give you,
away.
we're gonna go a little life is straight. We're gonna give you a little two options. You got two options before you. Either you calm down Troy and prevent them from killing Zeus and causing a whole lot of problems for later down the road, but still important problems. Or you try to get a definitive location on where Athena is and stop their plan.
I want to hear what Kai wants to say really quick.
Can I
have
take
a-
one of those? And you
I'm
can
gonna
have.
say no for this instance.
Okay,
'cause
yeah,
Homeboy's
no,
taking
you're
this,
right.
and especially you're very
Yep.
much focused on Zeus. You are literally
Marek has
Yeah,
has his jaw opened around Zeus's
Yeah.
head.
and especially Mallory's very much more looking for their child, if anything. So it's very much on Hector right now.
Hector walks to Troy. Drama key. And he touches the chest of the armor of Troy.
Blue flames form around it.
I know everything now. Everything you have gone through. The pain of that night after I left. I know what Paris did, and I know it all. No one knows more than anyone else than I do. Our boy survived. Our boy lived. This is him. And he like holds onto his shirt and touches the body. We can still be a family again. And I can't lose you again.
Convince for me, please.
I will. And I will use my nice Hector dice. And I'm going to use Poised Amidst Doom, Prince of Troy. Behind every great man. An honorable virtue. That's +4. All right. Okay, that's not bad. That's a 6.
Okay.
10.
10. With that, you see the entirety of their body shifts from this armored individual into almost a replica of blooming flame of your wife. I've missed your voice. The way it carries on the winds. What happened to me? To us?
What? And he looks at Andromache's eyes, and I think for the first time, Hector sees his wife after centuries, the ghost that haunted him. Her eyes. It took till this moment for him to know that Paris's insult of his wife was wrong. Those eyes were wrong from the start, and he knew it deep down, but regrets, guilt, and pain kept him from seeing the truth. But now the truth is a flame before him, and he closes the distance and presses his forehead against hers. I missed you. I've been so lost without you.
And in this
I'm half a
instance,
man without you.
they push your head aside and go in for a tender kiss. And in this instance, Hector, you feel something I don't think you have felt in a long time. You feel hope. That tomorrow will be better, that you will get your family, that your son will live his life, and that you will find peace in Elysium. How does that idea of hope feel to you?
As Hector reciprocates a kiss, I think the last time he kissed his wife was just before he went to meet Achilles on the battlefield. It was also the last time he kissed his son. And this feeling of hope, it feels like when the warning sun rays hit the bed of his old room, his old princely chambers, as he is enveloped in the embrace of Andromache, and the sound of the cooing baby laughs and giggles from his son in a crib just a stone's throw away from him. That's what hope feels like, and it blooms from the glass shattered chest outward to the entirety of his person. That's what hope is to Hector.
It's beautiful. And it's exactly what Athena needed. As you see coming from behind, almost like invisible coming forth, the frame goes straight into their hand, and a beam of pure light shoots Troy straight in the chest. You see what looks like amalgamations of souls drain out of the body. And as you, happening so fast, not able to understand what happened, you see the statue of your wife kissing in that position crumble and fade with the wind. As Athena on the other side. Oh, silly Hector. You provided me with the one thing I needed. It was a lot of steps. But we did it. See, this damn thing needs the very thing it held from the beginning of time. Hope. And now, the frame is mine. Enjoy Zeus and have a lovely day as they begin to run up towards the helipad.
Merrick yells. So close. And the feral, withheld rage of thousands of years of pain, of loss, come tearing out of him as he goes running after Athena in red-hot vengeance.
Going up. Hector, are you frozen or are you following?
Hector was frozen for like half a heartbeat. But in that hope, something else is blooming inside of his chest, inside of his very mythos. And Hector looks forward at the back of Marek as he chases down Athena. And he looks to Mallory for a moment and says, "Let's get your son." And there's a certainty, a clarity, an unnerving one to you, Mallory. I think it's a similar clarity you heard from Ricky right before the end, as he marches after Patroclus and holds the spear ready in a javelin position.
Mallory, are you following suit?
She will. She will.
Rage Fury, you go up the stairs, and as you do, one last conundrum for you for the day. Going up, you can see that at this point, Athena is faster than ever, more powerful than ever, and you can see on the other side there is a helicopter in mid-world, very much on active at the moment. You see they are strapping themselves in, but also in this instance, strapped on the other side with other guards that are shooting at you in this direction. Enid is with them as well. I will say this is your last set of actions for the night, so what are you doing in this instance as this helicopter is beginning to wane off?
Merrick doesn't see anything else. He only sees the goddess that took his Achilles. And he runs after that helicopter.
Fantastic. That's what you're going to do, so you can. That's going to be a toe-to-toe. Keep that for your side there. We'll go at the end here. Hector, what are you doing in this instance? You see Merrick is sprinting, not caring too much, like a feral animal.
And you hear from Hector, "Go! Let them feel you!" And Hector holds up his spear and he just marches directly to Athena. "Goddess!" And he will rear back and try to basically duel her, spear to spear.
She's already in the helicopter going away.
Oh, she's in the helicopter? I'm jumping in. I'm jumping in, baby.
Fantastic.
Hector is going to like leap in, and yeah, I think I'm going toe to toe. I want to duel her.
Fantastic.
Finally.
Helicopter jump. Mallory, what are you doing?
I think when she gets up to the roof, she gives out this kind of devastated cry of helplessness, as she can only really watch as they go after Athena. But she then hesitates and squares her shoulders and will attempt to spectral movement to try to get Enid while the others are hopefully like distracted.
Fantastic. So in this instance, just before I get everybody's rolls, 2 for you. Either you face danger, which is a little bit more of like, not in a sense a laissez-faire approach, but very much of more dealing with the situation at hand to save Enid, or you're taking the risk, which is very much you do not care, and you're going straight for your son. But take the risk, it's a little bit more of a higher possibility your son is unharmed, while face danger is a little bit more of like a more balanced. Take risk, there's a little bit of a higher, like if you get hurt, you're gonna get hurt if you fake, if you mess this up. So I leave that to you.
I think I'm gonna take the risk.
All right, so you can take the risk there. I just want rolls from your bad boys here, and I want to do so. We're starting off with you, Merrick. What are you getting?
What if I just burn a tag?
That works too. We want to
Yeah.
burn a tag.
Burn the
He
tag,
is
baby.
so beside himself. This is all he's wanted forever. And so that fire that has kept him going all of this time explodes out of him, and I am going to burn always beside him.
Fantastic. Hector, what about you?
You know how we said this is a go toe for toe?
Mhm.
I just remembered a thing I have, actually,
Okay.
Chris.
Yeah.
I would like to stop holding back.
Okay. Oh, okay. I got you.
I have an ability as part of Stop Holding Back called Ultimate Unlock. And under Ultimate Unlock, let me just go and read it really quick for the audience at home. You tap into the deepest place of power within your relic and unleash it when you stop holding back. You can choose to forego the roll and gain an automatic 10 plus by marking an additional fade on this theme. If your sacrifice is significant or no return, you mark the fade twice instead of once. If your sacrifice is ultimate, you replace this theme. So, in Stop Holding Back, folks at home, it is a way to sort of change the game here in City of Mist. Except it's a kind of a bargain that I play with the little MC here. So, my darling MC,
Mhm.
I would like to stop holding back, and the way that I want to do so is Hector, as far as Hector is concerned, and I think this is true in the narrative as well, he's no longer bound to Athena. The reason he is still in his body is because the Steanax gave it to him, and she just broke the deal by removing a drama key from Troy, thus rendering their deal moot, so he can rebel against her. And I would like to kind of throw her gift in her face. The golden blood, this kind of like glass breaking in his chest. I want to use all of the divine power that's used to fuel both those things and throw it back at Athena, because only divine can defeat divine.
Fantastic. Here's the thing for you. You mess up, you're gonna start leaking, aka
You know.
your soul is going to disappear, and this is just
So-
become a husk.
Yep. So what would you say this is a significant, no return, or ultimate price, my GM?
I'm gonna say significant because you're not going full ham at the moment. No, we'll say you're
Okay.
going a little bit more, so I will
Okay.
say significant is probably a good thing.
Okay. Well, with my I'm gonna double check the language on Ultimate.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna take that back. I'm gonna say no return is a better one.
No,
Never mind.
I was gonna say no return feels
No return
correct.
sounds better because you're going from you can't turn back from this.
Yeah. I will choose to use my ultimate unlock ability, forego the roll, automatically get 10 plus, and mark a 2 fade in this this ability.
Fantastic. Also, burn all the tags on
Burn all the
that
tags,
theme.
yep.
So you're doing that, and then last but not least, Mallory, what did you get?
Okay, well, I'm using spectral movement or my world. Leave the light on. How did you get there? Yeah.
Fantastic.
Oh, okay. That's 15.
With that, all of you go forward. Mallory, you go in almost like slow motion for you, grabbing, unbuckling your son, and immediately using the force of the helicopter going down at the moment to slide down the glass of the skyscraper to get safely to the bottom with your son in tow. But my other two, one of you jumps towards the pilot, beginning to shift through and rip, tear, going from the back of Athena as they try to go on one side. The other one goes straight towards Athena. At this point, going back and forth, the two mortals that are on here just die immediately. And with that, Athena goes, "You idiot, stop, you're gonna break the box!" Not caring, you keep going forward and forward. And I think in this moment, you, Hector, going with all your might, using all of your soul and force, go for Athena, stabbing her right through the chest. But as you go through all the force, go straight through the frame.
I am your pet no longer.
You idiot. And with that, as you guys go screeching on the ground, Mallory, you have your son on the side. Merrick and Hector, you're trying to get yourselves off and up. And as you're sort of climbing yourselves, getting yourself together, as there's fire and smoke here, off camera, Athena's eyes begin to roll back as the entity inside, like goo and lava, begins to go onto Athena's body. And as you guys are kind of trying to get yourselves together, you see something move through the debris of the helicopter. Something begins to grow and grow and grow to the size of one of these skyscrapers. Its skin molten with faces protruding and trying to get out. Various colors of red and blue in its face. An amalgamation of Achilles, Hades, and Andromache. We have suffered. Our city fell for your games. So we shall have a city for a city. As it begins to lay waste to New Promethea. And it's all your fault. And that is where we shall end the episode for today. Yeah! Yay! Doom and destruction. What could go wrong? With that, everyone, thank you for joining us for another wonderful episode of the Doomsayers, the penultimate, leaving only one more episode. But before I get into all that, let's do some plugs where you can find our peeps online. Starting off with Hector, the GOAT. With that, Val, take it away.
Sure thing. Hi, everyone. My name is Valiant Dorian. I use he, him, his pronouns. You can find me all around the internet at Valiant Dorian or at Otso Spirit Bear. Please enjoy that lovely treasure I just set you on. Tonight, I had the distinct pleasure of playing your Hector of Troy, Breaker of Horses, Prince of Troy, all that good stuff. He sure makes choices. And if you'd like to see more choices, especially ones within the realms of doom and destruction, you should go tune in to Transplanar RPG on Saturdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, where I play Sayer, the misbeloved twin brother of the Chosen One. I also have a slew of other projects that are unannounced at the moment that will be coming out shortly in 2025, so keep an eye out on my Blue Sky. And yeah, if you like everything to do with the whole thing that Marek was up to today, go check out my game, The Beast Within. The Quick Start Guide is now available with some community copies available thanks to some generous donations. Additionally, I have a new game called Self-Assurance, where you play a Challenger and an Ashura, playing a deck of cards as a Gamble of Fates. So go ahead and check that out. With that, I'm going to pass it on over to the most level-headed of us all. Mallory, take it away.
That's a scary thought. Hi. I'm Calamity. I played Mallory today. You can find me all over the internet as Hey Calamity with 3 Y's at the end. I do all kinds of stuff all over the internet, mostly in the tabletop space, from performance to production to writing. I have some stuff coming up I can't quite talk about yet, but you should definitely check out Telltale Hearts. We are continuing to share a bunch of stuff, but we have our own announcements coming up. One of them being that starting next week, this coming week, it's Sunday. So this coming Wednesday, we're going to have our first stream of our kind of like weekly stream schedule coming up. We'll be doing tabletop related things. And like eventually having guests and stuff. So if you want to check that out, that is Wednesday. And yeah, that's me. Take it away, Kai.
Oh gosh. Hi everyone, I'm Kai. You can find me all over the internet as a style of Mladris, doing a lot of this gay mess that you just saw. Gosh. You can also find me on Saturdays over on Transplanar RPG, doing all kinds of chaotic cowboy dad things with someone who is both somehow more and less self-assured than Merrick. And then you can also find me on Happy Jack's RPG. Because of the chaos going on in Los Angeles, I don't know if we're actually streaming this week, but you can usually find me there on Tuesdays playing Mouse Ritter in What About Bob's. And you can also find me very soon on the 30th. So at the end of the month, we'll be starting back up over on Bat House RPGs. Sun in Chains, a Tales of the Valiant series. And I got a lot of other projects coming up, so just follow me on my socials. Check out my card for all of my goings on, all of my many shows and projects, and find me back here for the finale of this amazing show where I'm not at all sweating from my palms and maybe my armpits and other places because Chris has me so stressed out. Chris?
Hi, audience. I'm the guy who's stressing them out. My name is Chris, and I have been your MC for these preceding evenings. With that in mind, you can find me on the interwebs at VO Cologne. Moreover, I'm Blue Sky than Twitter. There. In terms of what's going on, hopefully we'll be back with the beginning of Act 3, the last act for the Suez War, and as much as it's sad it is to say, next week will hopefully, if we get it through, will be the last episode, our finale of Doomsayers. So see what happens. Will they live? Will they get their heart's desires? Will people die? I don't know. We'll find out next week on the Doomsayers. But until then, everyone, we hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and we can't wait to see you next week for the finale of the Doomsayers. Until then, have a lovely evening, folks. Bye-bye.